Intervention of the social worker. The intervention of the social worker at present allows to intervene from the personal and social reality of the subject of action to solve the social problem from the interior of the people. This means that we must value the positive aspect within each case. Social work deals with the subject and also with society, is deal with groups and also with families, communities, but not only social aspect, but also economic and develop aspect. Social worker, we cannot forget that our actions are aimed at contributing to the development and increase of social welfare and quality of life. The professional practice is currently in full dynamics and process of change, both on the social, cultural, political, and economic fields, since the moment of crisis and change poses the demand to generate opportunity for growth and innovation for the professional world. Social work today. Our profession is excited in a context of safe capitalism, extreme poverty, corruption, social polarization, migratory process, gender violence, globalization, and social exclusion that form a contradictory relationship that challenge the social work professional. We ask ourselves then, in what context does social work develop, which is currently reconfigured in a dynamic, changing, and complete society that requires new demands of the profession? Because the social issue is being redefined and social work take on the challenge of social police aimed at overcoming the social issues within the framework of inclusion. When an event leads to a situation of risk for a community or a large number of people, whether due to a social or health emergency or a catastrophe which, due to its dimension, overhead public service, the involvement of specialist professionals is necessary. These are new conflict situations that require new responses from social work in order to provide comprehensive assistance. Social work continues to place special emphasis on the most vulnerable people and groups at social risk, but it also covers a sector of the population because it wants to promote the rights of individuals and communities. It offers support in process of change or crisis to increase social cohesion and well-being from a human rights perspective.
Social worker at the time of COVID-19 currently are taking up residing in our societies and has taken its toll on people, a situation never before experienced, let alone imagined. The coronavirus pandemic has shown a high capacity for transformation and at also merging the urgency to meet the needs of the population. In short, the professionals of the social work can seek to interact and intervene in a society of writing are both art and part white complex relationships that involve the problematic, but they also work hand in hand white people who suffer for these social problems and yet are much more than those same problem and what in many cases they share in dimension that were toward the understanding of the problem afflict the country in the search for tools to overcome adversity or in their aspiration for their ease and that of their society.
Fountains of the social work. 1. Preventive fountains. They were early on the cause that generate problems at individual or collective level arising from the relationship between people and their environment. They elaborate and carry out intervention dynamics in social groups that are at risk and without guaranteed that human rights are applied to them. 2. Direct care function. They attend to people or groups that have social problems or may have them. In this case, their task is to teach them to take advantage of their ability and faculties so that they learn to solve the problems they will face in the future and to be able to integrate into society. 3. Planning function. They organize and direct programs with specific objectives by analyzing the situation and its possible evolution. This work can be carried out at two levels of innovation. Microsocial level. Elaboration of treatments as some and social projects. Macrosocial level. Elaboration of programs and social services.
Teaching function. They provide theoretical and practical training on social work and social services. This training is given in school of social work and other academic settings. In addition, the participants in undergraduate and postgraduate training and diploma of social work and other related areas. Advocacy function. They intervene in order to restore pressure and even improve the skill, self-determination, and autonomy of individuals or social groups. They double and implement the necessary social measures to promote new services and resolve adapted to social needs or improve existing ones. Mediation function. They favor the union of people or groups facing a conflict in order to facing that doesn't involve are able to solve the problem by means of agreements.
7. Supervisory function. They keep track of the work different professionals and social workers who perform their work in social work departments or services. 8. Evaluation function. They study whether they take objective
proposed in the initial intervention plan archive. To this end, they take into account the techniques used, the means available, and the time employed. In addition, they guarantee the argumentation of the performance and point out the failures of the work carried out in order to propose new objectives and the way to carry them out. 9. General function. This function is reserved for social work professionals with responsibility in the planning of centers and in the organization, management, and control of social plans and social service. Their functions are diverse, of enormous responsibility and valor for the welfare of all people and our society, especially of the most disadvantaged people or groups of those who are at risk, such as women victims of abuse, immigrants, drug addicts, families without economic resources of certain ethnic groups, among others.